Stand by for heavy rolls. Secure all gear adrift. I repeat, stand by for heavy rolls.
General quarters, all hands man your battle stations.
Welcome to another broadcast of Now Hear This, brought to you by CSIA Report, national security news critical to your safety. If you're only getting TV, radio news, and local paper, you're missing critical news and analysis. Tell your friends. Hey, Congress, are you aware that Obama is about to share U.S. missile defense secrets? I find this generally unpublicized story absolutely stunning. We currently have over 20 countries with ballistic missile capabilities. There's no telling what that number will grow to in, say, 10 years. As a nation, we're completely vulnerable to intercontinental ICBMs. About 33 minutes, maximum, is the time from launch to impact on our cities or even our states. My number one concern is a terrorist or terrorist nation with a nuclear weapon. Such a weapon delivery to the American soil could well provide hundreds of thousands of casualties. Under no circumstances do I feel that hope is what I would call a foundation for a national security strategy. And this brings me to the fundamentals of this story. U.S. security officials are said to rightfully fear giving away key U.S. missile secrets that could compromise the effectiveness of the system by allowing Russian weapon technicians to counter the missiles. The weapons are considered some of the most effective high-speed interceptors in the U.S. missile defense arsenal. Only to the Obama administration would this idea even sound viable. If you can't get the Russians to meaningfully participate in talks, just go ahead and give them the keys to our national missile defense. We know that Russia would never share such data with China, North Korea, Iran, or some other rogue operation. I also note that only the Obama administration would craft missile defense talks with an Undersecretary of State who is a critic of the U.S. missile defenses. President Obama is said to have signaled Congress this week that he is prepared to share U.S. missile defense secrets with Russia. In the president's signing statement issued Saturday, in passing into law the fiscal 2012 Defense Authorization Bill, Mr. Obama said restrictions aimed at protecting top-secret technical data on U.S. Standard Missile-3 velocity burnout parameters might impinge on his constitutional foreign policy authority. U.S. officials are planning to provide Moscow with the SM-3 data despite reservations from security officials who say that doing so would compromise the effectiveness of the system by allowing Russian weapon technicians to counter the missile. The weapons are considered some of the most effective high-speed interceptors in the U.S. missile defense arsenal. Obama is quoted as saying, "While my administration intends to keep the Congress fully informed of the status of U.S. efforts to cooperate with the Russian Federation on ballistic missile defense, my administration will also interpret and implement Section 1244 in a manner that does not interfere with the President's constitutional authority to conduct foreign affairs and avoids the undue disclosure of sensitive diplomatic communications," end quote. Mr. Obama incorrectly identified the section of the law containing the specific restrictions.
One of the most fundamental roles of government is to protect us from enemies. And right now, we are not protected.
We need to recognize the threats that are out there, and the threat of ballistic missile attack is real.
Many Americans may think that we already have an SDI program. The fact is that we do not have enough capability right now.
The longest times are typically around 30 to 33 minutes for a long-range missile from North Korea to the United States or from Iran to the United States.
Less than 33 minutes away, the whole city, their whole life could be annihilated.
I'm standing in front of Ground Zero, one of the most devastating attacks in all of U.S. history. So imagine instead of planes. If this had been a nuclear weapon on a ballistic missile, and it had detonated just a few thousand feet above our heads.
The myth that missile defense won't work. We've heard that for many, many years, despite the evidence, despite the successes.
Time and time and time again, we've proven the critics wrong. Initially, they said that we would not be able to hit a bullet with a bullet. Well, we've gotten beyond being able to hit a bullet with a bullet. We now are able to hit a spot on a bullet with a bullet.
Evil has to be prevented. If not America, then who?
It is critical for America to lead. America is, after all, freedom's greatest hope.
So when all else fails, when all the negotiations have broken down, when there is a missile in the air, you have to have the ability to destroy it. Because the only other ability that you would have would be to apologize to those that died.
You've been listening to Now Hear This. Tune in again next time for more national security news.